Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton action and beyond. This week, we sit down with one of the best men's singles players of all time, Rudy Hartono. And we head to Bahrain as its association looks to boost badminton in the tiny kingdom. The singles format is probably one of the most glamorous categories in international badminton. A player armed only with his or her racket and his or her own individual brilliance on a quest for glory. In the current men's field, names such as world champion Chen Long and two-time Olympic champion Lin Dan illustrate the kind of finesse and class this category demands. Badminton Unlimited has featured singles legends who have dominated in the late 70s and 80s. Players such as India's first All-England winner Prakash Padukone and Danish BWF Hall of Famer Morten Frost. But go back a little further, and there was one man who was untouchable in his achievements and is regarded by many as one of the best to have ever graced the game. Clue? He hails from Indonesia and holds the record of winning 8 All-England titles.
I really wanted to be successful as much as I can and to the very best of my ability, especially so when it comes to the All England. Indeed, it was the one competition that I wanted to win badly at that time.
Our cameras were graciously invited into Rudy Hartono's home in the country's capital, Jakarta, recently. Having retired more than 30 years ago, Rudy now devotes much of his time to his family.
Once a week, I'll get my family together. I will ask my family, my children's family, along with my grandchildren to come over and spend time with me. We will have lunch together. This has been a regular part of my life now.
In his heyday, though, Rudy lived and breathed badminton. The Surabaya native was 8 years old when his father started taking him for badminton practice at a local club. Despite his tender age, Rudy was already being rigorously shaped for greater things.
It was my father's great desire that I become a world-class player. Every morning as early as 5 a.m. before I left for school, I would run long distances to improve my stamina. This would become my daily routine. This would be crucial for me to play well in matches and of course help me in my quest to become a champion.
Rudy's hard work began to pay off. He won the national junior title when he was 15 years old. He continued his success in the domestic tournaments for 2 years before the Indonesian national team invited him over to the capital. The move proved to be a masterstroke. Rudy was then able to train with world-class teammates. Surrounded by the best players in the country, he developed quickly.
At the training center in Jakarta, there were so many advantages, especially when you get to train with the national team. In the 1967 Thomas Cup held in Jakarta, I was able to win against the defending All-England champion that year.
His victim on that fateful day was 7-time winner Erland Kops, and it gave Rudy a massive boost to his confidence. The very next year, the 18-year-old Rudy carried the momentum into the All-England Championships itself. He won the tournament at the first time of asking. The maturity in his performances was evidence that a new men's singles star was born.
I told myself the most important thing in tournaments is to win the first few points at all costs. That was my game plan. If you look at it from a psychological aspect of the game, it will put pressure on my opponent as I am ahead. It is a strategy that I have used time and time again, and it has worked for me. In all the matches that I have played using this tactic, I have been able to win most of them.
He would go on to win the All-England title 7 consecutive times between 1968 and 1974. He seemed unbeatable at the event, collecting plaudits as quickly as he was winning medals. But in 1975, to everyone's surprise, Denmark's Svend Pri defeated him. He took the loss and vowed to do better the following year. He did so to claim his 8th title.
Saya kalah itu adalah satu pelajaran.
When I lost that year, it was a very good lesson for me. It taught me that I was only human and I was capable of losing. But the most important takeaway was that when you lose, do not lose hope and give up too easily. I proved that once I got back to training harder, I was able to win it again. I only thought of how I would compete every year and win. I never thought of winning it 7 times or 8 times. What was important to me was at that moment was how I was going to win it, that's all. That helped me to manage the pressure and tension I was feeling.
Rudy was also amassing other titles during this time, including the Denmark and US Opens, as well as the World Championships in 1980. His last appearance on the winner's podium was at the Japan Open the following year before hanging up his racket soon after. For his outstanding achievements and services to the sport, Rudy became the first Herbert Shield Trophy recipient and was amongst the first few to be inducted into the BWF Hall of Fame in 1997. 65 years old now, Rudy is content to divide his time between family and the Jaya Raya Badminton Club.
Well, he already did so much for the country, he did so much for the sports, and well, in these old days, I hope that he can enjoy his life.
Even now that I have retired for so long, many still remember me. And that is something that I am very proud of.
Rudy Hartono's extraordinary accomplishments have etched his name into the history books. And as he keeps an eye on the new generation of Indonesian players, he will serve as a symbol of what can be achieved with ambition and determination. We want you to tell us who this person is. I was born in Denmark. I made my international debut in 2005. I won gold at the 2014 Indonesia Super Series premiere. We reveal all after the break.
Movie, I also don't have favorite movie. I like to watch fantasy, action, comedy.
My favorite movie is Twilight, like all girls in the world.
Holiday destination
Is the beach.
sunny beach. If we have 1 week holiday, we prefer to be there on summer. I describe her like fighter, really good net player, and she's helping me a lot when we are on the court and also when we are out from the hall.
I describe her. It's difficult because she has so many things, so many nice and good things. She has some good smashing, and I like when she's fighter and helping me in the court and saying me to not give up. And I like that she's also my sister because I can't fight with her in an argument, but she's a very nice person, and I like when she fights on single and never give up, even if she see that have pain or something.
On the other side of the break, we're in Germany to report on how the Bitburger Open is helping to develop the sport in the country. Welcome back. Before the break, we asked you to name this person. I was born in Denmark. I made my international debut in 2005. I won gold at the 2014 Indonesia Superseries premiere. The answer is Christina Pedersen. Pedersen was born in the city of Aalborg, Denmark in 1986. The 28-year-old is one of the best doubles specialists in her country. She is currently ranked third in the world in both the mixed doubles and women's doubles categories. The Danish player recently won gold at this year's Indonesia Superseries premiere in the mixed doubles event with Joachim Fischer-Nielsen. The Saarland is a state in the southwest of Germany. The region boasts a reputation of being passionate about its sports. From triathlons to water sports, the state capital Saarbrücken hosts events that attract visitors from all over Germany and Europe. Badminton is no exception. The Bitburger Badminton Open is confirmation that Saarland continues to be a place for top sporting action.
27 years ago, it all started as a small regional tournament. Then it made the German ranking list, and it later evolved to an international tournament before it became a Grand Prix Gold tournament called the Bitburger Open.
Frank Liedeke has been the tournament organizer since the early days, and under his astute leadership, the tournament has grown in stature and is now classified as a Grand Prix Gold event in the BWF calendar. It's been a remarkable transformation. What started in 1987 as an amateur tournament for a group of badminton enthusiasts has developed into a top-class event.
It's very important for us to have these levels because people like to see events like this all the time. The spectators are here, the halls are full, so the quality is okay and the people like it to come.
The tournament's Grand Prix Gold status allows it to attract the best badminton talent in the world. International stars from nations such as China, Malaysia, Denmark and Japan have become regular fixtures at the Bitburger Open.
The quality of the players has increased. The participants this year are stronger than ever before. You can tell by the number of Asian players. 10 years ago, we had only European players. From time to time, we had one Asian player. Today, the opposite is the case. The Asian players are in the majority, and that makes it so interesting, especially when European players play against Asians. That is what the audience is looking for.
Superpowers such as China are also known to field their up-and-coming players at the Bitburger Open. Current men's singles world champion Chen Long made his mark on the international scene at this very competition in 2010. China continued the trend this year with its young squad grabbing 4 of the 5 titles on offer at the event. Add in the star players from other countries, the best from Germany, and the Bitburger Open has become a big crowd puller on the European circuit.
It's getting better and better, popularity. So the names are very, very good. So we have Olympic champion here at the tournament, we have world champion, and of course the German players. So this is also important that in such tournaments like here, German players go into the final or the semi-final. This is very important also for the spectators.
The meeting of top-class players at the Bitburger Open has lifted the standard of competition over the years, offering spectators non-stop high-level badminton action. And for those watching at the stadium, the experience keeps badminton fans coming back for more each year.
For the fans, it's spectacular how close they are to the players. It's amazing to see how close the audience is seated to the court. You can feel the emotions of the players and how those emotions affect the audience. That makes this tournament so special, and you can't find that in many halls that you sit close by and have such an intense experience. It's such a great atmosphere here.
Another unique feature of the tournament is the Players' Night, an event that is both a favorite for the players and badminton fans. It's a rare opportunity for players to let their hair down and put aside their on-court rivalries.
A big event is the Players' Night. We expect about 1,200 guests for that social event. It is the best opportunity to be close to a superstar in badminton and have a conversation. How you can communicate between Mandarin and German is a mystery to me, but in the end, it always works. Here at that party, you meet people from all walks of life, politicians, sportsmen, businessmen, and of course many fans want to go to that particular event. But unfortunately, there are only limited tickets.
The organisers have once again staged another world-class badminton tournament in Saarbrücken. Surely, as the Bitburger Open goes from strength to strength, it won't be long before this tournament earns the much-coveted Super Series classification. Let's find out about how badminton is doing in other parts of the world. This week, we get a postcard from South Africa.
Hi, my name is Jacob Maliko. I'm the #1 singles player in Africa, and here's my postcard from South Africa. South Africa has a population of 50 million, and the capital is Pretoria. South Africa has a very diverse population. We have people of all races and cultures, so it makes it a very multinational country. I began playing badminton when I was about 9-10 years old for fun with my parents, but I only took it serious when I was about 15-16 years old. That's when I began to train. And yes, I've been playing since then, so yeah. Badminton in South Africa is definitely growing from strength to strength. We have a very young team now, and we are beginning to get funding, and we are traveling to more tournaments, so hopefully that's going to raise the level of the game and improve all our players' world rankings. We've been dominating the African circuit for a few years now. We've been winning the All-African Championships, the team championships, for a few years. So that's good, but we need to take that through to the world stage, and that happens at the Sudirman Cup, Thomas Cup, Uber Cup. So hopefully when we play these tournaments, we expect to get good results and perform well so we can improve our rankings. The best feeling about being the best badminton player is the respect that you get from others, especially the younger ones who look up to you and aspire to be like you, play like you. That keeps you motivated, and it inspires you because you want to improve yourself more so that you can keep inspiring others. So that's the best feeling.
We head to Bahrain after the break to find out about its international club championships and its impact on the sport in the kingdom. This week's BWF World Rankings features the men's doubles. Asia continues to dominate the top 10 in this category, with the Korean duo of Lee Yong-dae and Yoo Hyun-sung on top of the pile. Danish pair Matthias Bo and Carsten Mogensen are the only European players. They're ranked second, whilst Hendra Setiawan and Muhammad Ahsan from Indonesia place third. Indonesian pairing Gideon Marcus Fernaldi and Marcus Kido round up the top 10. Don't forget the rankings are updated every Thursday, so log on to www.bwfbadminton.org for the latest information. We're in Bahrain now, a small nation set along the shores of the Persian Gulf. Bahrain has a reputation of treading its own path. It's a cosmopolitan modern state with about 50% of its population non-nationals. Despite its abundance of oil, the country's economy is based on banking and tourism. Like many in this region, football and motorsports dominate sporting conversations. But Bahrain's association with badminton is one of the oldest in this part of the world and had, at one time, a major footprint.
Badminton in Bahrain has always been a very popular sport. So since last more than 50 years, it has been played very regularly in Bahrain. But only in the starting from 2000 onwards, only we had events, badminton events, sanctioned by Badminton World Federation, being conducted in Bahrain regularly. The first event, as far as I remember, was in 2002.
In fact, Bahrain was the first nation to start a badminton federation in the Middle East back in 1981. But rather than be a driver for development, the sport stagnated. Lack of facilities and other infrastructure meant sports such as football, volleyball and basketball became the sport of choice for Bahrainis.
Yeah, you know, the main thing for progress is once you get the facilities, full courts and full support from the GOIS or Olympic Committee, then you will see the progress. Now, recently, we are getting full support from the Olympic Committee. So this will strengthen and develop the badminton in the region, in Bahrain especially.
Deals done in Dubai, its regional neighbour, to develop the game in the Emirati and the Middle East as a whole will certainly have a spillover effect. But the association is keen to push forward in its own attempts to boost badminton. It recently launched the Bahrain International Club Championships in Manama, its capital. The tournament brings together some of the best club sides from around the world to compete in a 4-day event.
In 2013, we conducted the first Bahrain Club Championship. This was an event not only for the international players, this was an event meant for the local badminton playing public of Bahrain also. What we did was we conducted this event in different categories, in different skill levels. We wanted to give an opportunity to all the badminton players in Bahrain to exhibit their skills. The players who were at the bottom level were allowed to play in the lower levels, and then at the highest level we had the international players who came in also. This year, the second edition of the Bahrain International Club Championship, this year the event has been conducted in 4 different levels, and we had tremendous participation from all the other GCC countries in the first 3 levels. The 4th level, which is the highest level, is the international players. We have had players from Indonesia and Malaysia.
The main purpose of a club tournament is to develop a culture of team badminton. It is hoped that focusing on this format will help strengthen the club system in the country.
These clubs are mostly run on the lines of different communities and different various bigger clubs that are existing in the kingdom. There are a lot of development going on in this field. You know, there are lots of players. Actually, there are lots of players who are interested in badminton. It's only that our main challenge is to find the necessary places for them to play and more and more opportunities for them to develop the game. We need to bring in higher qualified coaches, and as and when things get level, we need to expose them to bigger tournaments.
For the local players participating in the event, it offers an opportunity to pit their skills against professional shuttlers and evaluate their development.
It's helped me to learn new skills and techniques in the game and gave me a chance to compete with international players.
But this isn't a one-way street. For the international clubs visiting the kingdom, this is a valuable experience for their players.
Yeah, and my team have the important to technical. We have all the stroke different from the One Academy Badminton Malaysia and One Academy Bahrain and Jarum Badminton team. And we learn to technical from the Malaysia, from Bahrain, and from Jarum.
It is always good for our national team to play and compete in international championship. They learn new skill and technique, and they develop their own skill in badminton, and they learn more about the different countries they visit.
On the courts, the final came down to a battle between the top 2 teams after the round-robin matches. Indonesia's Garuda Badminton Club faced off against One Academy of Malaysia. Played in a Sudirman Cup format, it was One Academy who prevailed in a tight encounter 3-2. For the winners, not only do they get to go home with a trophy for their cabinet, but a positive experience of badminton in Bahrain. Whilst the clubs from Bahrain didn't make it to the winners' podium, the experience of participating in such a successful tournament far outweighs any immediate medals.
This is the second year compared to our last year. This has been a step forward. That is, we have now started an event specifically for the international players. We are sure that we are going to take it forward next year. This tournament will go on and it will keep on increasing in its popularity, and with more number of players and more clubs participating in this event in future.
Before we go, let's find out what's happening on the international circuit in our Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we catch up with the world #1 men's doubles pairing of Lee Yong-tae and Yu Yeon-sung to talk about their extraordinary season. And we're in Singapore to test out our smash.